you breathe in and out. First, we'll check in with the body. So we're not going to judge what we find. We're not going to judge our bad back or our body shape. What we're looking for is temperature, throbbing, itching, whatever it is that is happening with your body right now. You may find pain in your low back. If you can breathe some ease into it, please do. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, so be it. But please check in with your body for the next 30 seconds. Now notice how you are. Maybe you just ate lunch, maybe you're full, maybe you feel like you've had a lot of information already today. And as you take a deep breath in, let's move the attention from the body to the mind, noticing what's happening in your mind right now. Maybe it's spacious, maybe it's crowded, maybe it's to-do lists. Just notice, without judging, what's happening to the quality of your mind. Now gently shifting from the mind to the emotional state. We all work with kids. We know how quickly kids' emotions change. You may feel one way right now and a different way in 40 seconds. So perhaps you're feeling the happy, easy, excited emotions, or perhaps you're feeling or the harder ones, anger, disappointment. Whatever it is that you're feeling, just notice where that is, please. Peace. It does not mean to be in a world without noise, trouble, or anger. It means to be with those things and still be calm in your heart. When you're ready, please notice yourself opening your eyes. Welcome everybody, thank you for coming. You guys want to move down because I want to not really nice concentrated group. That's perfect. Anybody notice any difference between how you feel now and how you felt when you came in? We all learn from each other, so you can share or not.
Calmer.
Calmer. You all know this doesn't take that long. It doesn't take 3 minutes. We just happen to look at different things. So let me quickly do an introduction. So my name is Lori Grossman. I was a co-founder of Mindfulness Schools in 2007. We're going to... I'm going to do it just quickly. This is what happened. I didn't know what mindfulness was. I had no idea. I worked at Oakland, all Title I really tough schools. We went into a school where 70% of the kids knew people in jail, 40% knew someone who'd been killed by violence. This was the lesson. We're going to do a 15-minute lesson in like 40 seconds. So we just, Mr. Richard, because I didn't know mindfulness, came in. I had all this connection with public schools because this is what I did. We did all kinds of service learning and SEL stuff. That's what we're doing. So when I asked principals, I said, I have an idea. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't even know what I want it to do. Anybody interested? I had 5 schools lined up. So we went to this school with those stats I told you. So he came in and he said, hi, my name's Mr. Richard, and I'm going to teach you something. I'm not going to tell you about it. Let's just do it. The kids are smiling. They love the sound, and they're so excited. You can hear And so then he said, what did you notice? And they, hold their hands. And then he said, okay, this time, close your eyes and do that. So close your eyes and listen. I'm shortening everything. It's a lot to do in 50 minutes. And again, they raised their hands and said what they thought. There's no right answer, he told them. And then he said, please close your eyes, and when you can't hear the bell, please raise your hand. So you can do that too. You guys are clearly not third graders because they did this. Can you still hear it? Can you still hear it? And went to impulse control. And then finally he said no bell. Listen to no bell. And a third grader, remember, 70% of the kids know people in jail, 40% know somebody who's been killed on the street. I think if we do this every day, we're not going to fight anymore. Well, I went, I don't know what this is, but this is what I'm doing. And we went into all the classrooms that day, 15 minutes a pop. And I went back to my office and told my boss I was quitting. I didn't know what this was, but it's what we needed to do. I'd always worked on social justice and educational equity, and this was the first thing that I found that it was stunning. I didn't know what it was at first. So you all know Mindful Schools turned giant, and now I am working with a group called Inner Explorer, and we are a digital program. You'll get to see some of it. We have 90 practices, preschool, elementary, middle, and high. They're in English and Spanish except for high school, and the idea is daily practice is what changes our brains. And it's also a push button. So there's a 5-minute training video, and teachers are on to use the program immediately. So it's rapid. I just got a video from the principal of Dwight Moreau High School in New Jersey. They started the program 3 months ago. He said, we haven't had a fight in 3 months. This is a tough school in New Jersey. And yeah, he mandated it. We didn't used to like to mandate stuff, but you know what? With the suicide, with the anxiety, with the depression, with the teachers, with us all going crazy, it's like, you're gonna mandate math. Why are you gonna mandate how to teach children how to pay attention, right? So anyway, the mindfulness, the movement's exploded. That's why we're here. I'm so grateful to Tracy. There should not be any competition between groups. We should be collaborating. There's not a person on the planet, not a preschooler, not a 90-year-old that doesn't need this. So we need to all figure out the best way. In my opinion, this needs to be in every school, preschool, grad school, like Toot Sweet, first thing. And so we're all kind of working on that in our own way, but we really need to collaborate. So I am thrilled that Tracy started. I think it's awesome. LG, why did LG Electronics get into this? They have corporate social responsibility money, and you can see I have my years behind me, and corporations didn't used to give money, and now they're starting to give money. So they wanted to look at how are they going to spend their corporate social responsibility dollars. They looked at hunger, they looked at homelessness. What they found was mental illness. They spent a year doing this, a year researching. So what do you do? And what they did was they found that there are sustainable happiness skills that can be taught, one of which is mindfulness. They interviewed 120 organizations. They chose us because we're so easy to use and we're so scalable. And so we have a very large partnership with them. They originally had us going to the schools where they were located, which is like Alabama, Georgia, Texas, like that. And now we're working more broadly than that. So they have an initiative. They work with Discovery Ed, Castle, Project Happiness for Us. And it's a fantastic collaboration by LG Electronics. They're really in it for the right reasons. They're not in it just to advertise themselves. They're really awesome. So there are these 6 happiness skills. They work with the Greater Good Science Center in Berkeley. I happen to live in Oakland, 5 minutes away. That was where I graduated from. And they're these 6 sustainable skills. So my idea was to quickly, because we don't have a lot of time, go through some of these skills. So the first thing, and what I would like to do, is bring your guys' voices in. So in each skill, I'm going to read you a quote from our program, and then I want somebody to tell me a short story about one of these skills. So, mindfulness. I don't know if any of you have seen this book ever. Any of you seen this? Do you know it? So this book we did in East Oakland about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. The kids are going to graduate from high school. The money from the book is going to their scholarship fund for high school. They've sold 50,000 copies of this. It's a pretty dynamite. That was not the intention. The way this book started was it was Spirit Week. And this child whose mom died from drugs when he was 2, his dad's an alcoholic, they don't even have electricity, the kid comes to school and sleeps a lot. he said to the teacher, we need to have a mindfulness superhero. So the teacher told me, and I was sitting one day, and I said, we need to do a book, and this was the result. So, and we asked the kids, how many of you think mindfulness is important? 100%. And this school's tougher than the school that I originally told you. It's like one of the toughest schools. They couldn't keep a principal for years. Now we've had the same principal, and we're really a mindful school. So I said to the kids, how many of you think mindfulness is important? Every kid. Why do you think mindfulness is important? All the right reasons. How could we tell kids? And they ultimately came up with write a book. So these are their words, their pictures. So they start out saying, have you ever been mad, sad, happy, annoyed, disappointed, or jealous? And these are all brown and black kids, by the way. That's one of the things, for me, that's the most important part of the book, because there are a lot of white kids looking at that. And you don't see books with black kids, except for Rosa Parks and, Martin Luther King. So the fact that they're teaching this skill that's so important for everybody, and you see, like, white kids embracing this, I think that's part of what I'm trying to do anyway in the world. So anyways, what do you do when that happens? When you feel sad, disappointed, or jealous? You should try mindfulness. What is mindfulness anyway? It's a precious thing. It means paying attention to your feelings, to how your friends and family are feeling, to the things you're learning about in school, to your actions to playing sports. Mindfulness is really about paying attention to everything right now or as it happens, noticing it, but not making a judgment about it. Mindfulness can help you calm down and deal with difficult things. Mindfulness can also help you pay attention to the world, like hearing beautiful birds sing, really looking at colorful butterflies fluttering their wings, or noticing clouds when they move. It can even help you avoid distractions so you can concentrate better. And then the book goes on to, when should you use it? And you should use it in tests. And when I was having a good day, when somebody cut me in the line in the cafeteria, there's the brain science. I had a history project. I was procrastinating. My parents were fighting. When I can't fall asleep and I'm worried, there's body scan. And then the kids do a bunch of different practices. And actually, I'm going to play one. There is an audio that goes with this. There's like 10 practices. The kids did mindful walking, mindfulness with distractions. I don't have time for a lot, but I'm going to teach you something. Have any of you guys heard of the shark fin? This is something that we developed. So let's see if I can. Here we go. This is a 5th grader from that class talking about doing the shark fin.
Getting ready to practice mindfulness, doing the shark fin. To practice mindfulness, you need to get ready, and you get ready by doing the shark fin.
This is not, their system is not working. I've got to take this out. Guys, I really want this stuff to work. Is our tech person still here?
I did.
About that.
What?
More reason for you guys to come closer.
Yes.
Yes.
Texted Gary. She's trying to get the audio to work.
Yeah, nothing, my stuff's not working on the.
Really? Yes. And then he doesn't know. Yeah. But you say, I'm not sure. Right.
So I'm going to teach you the shark fin. This is a very lovely tool. Well, I pulled that out to see if I could get the sound working from my speakers, but now I'm not even getting this to work. I don't know why. Maybe I need to use my, this is on my laptop. It shouldn't be.
You're not wanting visual right now, you're wanting just audio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even this is not, for some reason, something that's not right. So I'm going to teach you the shark fin. So the shark fin, and you could have heard her voice, so there's lovely practices that the kids wrote. And that whole book is their words. But the shark fin says you put your hand here, and you go.
Getting ready to practice mindfulness, doing the shark fin. To practice mindfulness, you need to get ready, and you get ready by doing the shark fin.
Thank you.
To do the shark fin, you put the side of your hand on your forehead, with your thumb touching your forehead. Now move your hand down your face in front of your nose. Say shh and close your eyes as your hand moves down. If you are sitting down, you do the 6 S's. While you move your hand, sit up straight, sit still, sit silently, soft breathing, shut eyes, and soft smile. If you are standing, you do the same, but you are standing straight, still, silently, using soft breathing, shut eyes, and soft smile while you move your hand down your face. You are now ready to practice mindfulness. You can see the picture of one of us doing the shark fin in the book.
So the shark fin is something that we use a lot. And I went to the school.
Welcome to Mindful Listening. It's important to listen because if you don't listen to our instructions, you won't know what to do. If you are in class and you're talking to your friends, you may get embarrassed when your teacher asks you a question.
So you can see these are awesome little practices. And in the book, they have the link to get to them.
Cool.
So the shark fin, I've seen kids at the plate. I've seen kids listening to math class, and all of a sudden you'll see them go, shh, and it's a call to attention. It's a realization I've done, right? So it's a really fabulous mindfulness tool that the kids use and love. And I went to the school and I said, we have to change it. I found out this means God in sign language, and we're so not religious, and we have to stay away from the whole religious thing. And they said, too bad, we love it, and it works. And the kids love it. And you see them all day long doing the shark fin all over the school. And this, again, is a really tough school. So the shark fin is something that people love. And the kids typically go, I mean, once they learn about mindfulness, and they can use Inner Explorer or not, but they'll get up and they'll say, please put your hands on your heart. Please, everybody, put your hands on your heart. Please repeat after me. I have the power
You have the power
to make wise choices.
to make wise choices.
I have the power
I have the power
to make wise choices.
to make wise
And
choices.
they go, let's do the shark fin, and they go, shh. And then somebody will ring the bell, and they'll say, we'll practice for 1 minute, 2 minutes, whatever. So this is used very widely all over, and Inner Explorer has adopted this as well. So it's in a lot of the practices. So I want to show you Inner Explorer. I'm going to give you, we're going to play a high school practice, if I can get in here. No internet. Let's see if I use my phone. I'm so not today. Yeah. I can also, I don't seem to be online for some reason. Oh, into here? No, I was going to do it from your stuff. I was just going to use my hotspot. So Inner Explorer is a series of 90 practices meant to be played twice in a school year. And they are mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of sound, mindfulness of feelings, of thoughts, of compassion, of gratitude, forgiveness. So it goes through the MBSR protocol and also the SEL protocol. And it's a very simple program to use. You can show a 5-minute video, which I won't show here, 5-minute and 20-second video. And then in a staff meeting, have everybody open their laptops. Somebody sends them an email, they click, and they can use it from the dreams. So that's what's great. It's not everybody needs to know mindfulness. You absolutely need mindfulness, because you can't teach mindfulness if you don't know mindfulness. It's ridiculous. So that's something that was a big conundrum with mindful schools. Like, all these people want it, but we don't have enough mindful teachers, and so mindful schools went out to do the stuff online, which is fantastic, but teachers are busy, and so they develop a practice by practicing every day, right? So we'll see if we can.
I hooked this to the internet, and then you just find the
Oh,
place.
excellent, thank you. So we're going to listen to a practice right now from Angelina Alvarez. She's the designer of the book that you saw. And that's not showing everything. Okay, I can try it and see. So while I get this ready, why don't you talk to the person to your, oh, here it is. They can see the video just to see what it looks like. Our program is all audio, you guys. So, it went away. Wait, no, there it is. There you go. Okay.
Can we end it release?
Okay, this is an 8-minute mindfulness practice, and then as soon as we finish this, we'll go on to the other. So that'll be helpful for you guys to.
Hey everyone, it's Angelina. Today we're going to explore a breathing exercise called anchoring. Let's begin by closing our eyes and listening to Handel's water music. As usual, we will start by getting into a comfortable position. Sitting up. Relaxing our arms and legs and shoulders. And the neck. And breathing in and breathing out. As you settle in, today we'll practice anchoring to our breathing as a way to settle yourself when you're upset or anxious. It's called anchoring because the idea is similar to an anchor on a boat. If the water is really rough, you might anchor your boat to the bottom of the ocean so the waves don't push you in a direction you don't want to go. As you breathe in and out, imagining that your mind is like a boat on the water. And your thoughts are like waves. Noticing that you might have thoughts coming and going. Realizing that some thoughts are like calm waves. For instance, when you're thinking about something you enjoy, like friends, music, sports. Each time one of these thoughts comes, imagine a small wave moves your boat just a bit. And it quickly settles back down and is calm again. As you keep breathing, realizing that other thoughts are like big crashing waves. Maybe excitement about something, or even frustration or sadness. Intense thoughts are like huge waves, causing your boat to bounce around and go places you might not want to go. Thoughts like this can cause us to do things we wish we didn't, because a big, strong emotion swept over us like a tidal wave. down, imagining that your boat is anchored. So each breath in and each breath out. Because breathing is like the calm underneath the waves. It helps to hold you in place, anchored. Even with big waves crashing all around, each breath in and out can bring you deeper into a peaceful and calm place underneath the waves. Each time the strong thought waves rise up, your breathing allows you to stay connected to the quiet and clear place underneath the waves. Lingering in the deep, noticing what is there, what thoughts and emotions are with you today. Allowing them to be there, yet staying anchored to your breathing as you breathe in and out. Noticing how it feels to be connected to this peaceful place. It's a spot you can come to by anchoring or connecting to your breathing. And thanks for anchoring with me today, listening for the sounds of Handel's water music. When you're ready, slowly opening your eyes. And let's journal today about the practice of anchoring. What did it feel like to envision your thoughts as waves, your mind as a boat on the sea, and your breath as an anchor deep beneath the surface?
So that's an example of our high school program, it's lesson 14. I brought that because this session was about experience happiness. What is it? It's that the world is going to be tough sometimes. And we want to be resilient, right? So even when things are tough, we want kids to know if they can do fine. Will you guys move up, please? We're a small group. Thank you. We're going to do some activities, and I want people near each other. So the idea that, we want our kids to be able to ride the waves, to understand, oh, here's another thing, without falling apart. And we all know people that fall apart. We all know people that do well, right? We want our kids to do well. And there's so much on their plate right now. So experience happiness is like, la, everybody has to be happy. No, but you can be okay when stuff is tough. So that's why I chose that practice, because it's noticing, oh, here's the big waves. I'm okay, right? So there are 6 happiness skills. We're not going to have time to do them all. But the first is happiness. The one I want to do, we're going to do human connection. And these were identified by the greater good. Oh, and I can send you stuff. I'll send around a sheet, and I can send you guys a ton of stuff, okay? Gratitude, positive outlook, generosity, and purpose. So we're going to do a few. So let's do human connection. So I'm going to read you a quote that we got from Inner Explorer. Then I want to hear something from you guys that happened with one of your mindfulness practices, with human connection between kids or kids and a teacher or whatever. And then we'll do an exercise. So this was a letter we got, a handwritten letter from a parent from Hawaii. No, I'm sorry, from a husband of teachers, his wife. But he wrote us, he wasn't the teacher. My wife is a teacher using Inner Explorer in her classroom. She's noticed less behavior problems and a more caring attitude amongst her students. She suggested we try it out, and we've been practicing for several months. Practicing together has brought us closer in our marriage, and I'm feeling much less stress at my job at Kaiser Permanente. Who has an experience with what you do with human connection? Can anybody think of something, just a short story you could tell? You can't, that's okay. So do you have a story, a mindfulness, or from your SEL stuff that showed human?
Well, I did a mindfulness in a class, and sometimes I go up to kids that are in honors.
Can you speak louder so they can hear?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I can.
I go to an honors class because I worry about them, because they're all very self-driven, high-achieving middle schoolers. And it's taken me years because I'm not sure if I'm doing this more for the teacher or the kids, maybe a little both. So I got done with the mindfulness practice, and it was about moving energy and being aware of the energy. And they sit in rows of two, so there's always somebody literally in their bubble by the way the classroom's set up. And the teacher took it upon herself to ask the students to draw what this is English class, lit in LA, and she said, draw how you felt. And the two guys that were in front that I was watching, and it's voluntary, so I get 60-70% participation because the really driven guys can't do mindfulness because they have work. So I said, just listen. But they drew a picture of themselves, and then there's this huge bubble of energy connecting them as they sat next to each other. She gave me all the drawings that they had done. She had just done this spontaneously. It's very, very groovy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. So I'll ask you for other stories with some of these other ones, but I'd like you to turn to the person next to you, and if you're not next to somebody, move closer. And what I want you to do is talk about, you two could do it, talk about a relationship that you have that really makes you happy. Could be with your dog, it could be with a kid, it could be with a student. But just share a relationship, and I'm going to wait 30 seconds because I don't want you to be thinking as the other person's talking. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think, right, so that we're being mindful. And then I'll give everybody a minute, and we'll just share and then see what that feels like. And this is something you can do with kids. It's recognizing what's important and and this does make us happy. Take another few seconds. When you both know, you can start. So you can look at each other and see if you know who you want to use. Let's do it, Amy.
Who's it?
And he's just nothing I can do. I like it. He's like one of my better kids in the class. Yeah. And just that's somebody that
So for me, I would say, right.
You guys should switch if you haven't yet, please.
I'm going to say my husband, who is shy, sociable for me. I am type A Chicago. I am always going busy, traveling, and he's just so supportive. And so, like, he I'm very productive. Now I'm writing 20 letters. I don't have to talk to anybody. We just got a new dog. She hasn't been 3 weeks. But this dog keeps us two dogs. And he's just so level-headed. And he's so now. She's so bad. He's my dog. Carpenter. He's like building furniture. And I just feel luckier than right. No, it's so lucky to have him. But he's both are You want to do 10 seconds of somebody else? 20 seconds? I love Cody.
Okay, how was that for people? Was that fun? Did you feel good? That you can do that with kids. You can have them do that about their pets. You can have them do that about, you know, and kids who are traumatized, it may be hard to find somebody. So it's good, and maybe you want to do a lead-up exercise and have them write, you know, a few names of their pet or something, and then do something like this. But getting them to recognize the goodness in each other and people is really important, and it makes you happy. We all know the loneliness studies, and the studies are horrific now. I mean, before, like about 10 years ago, people said they had 4 friends. Now they say they have 0. The numbers that say they have 0 friends are shocking. And yet they've got 50,000 Facebook friends, right? Yeah. But no real friends. So generating, really connecting and making the human connection. And that's what happens when you do mindfulness. So now I think we'll do, this is a really important one. So positive outlook. It's really hard for me these days, being a political person and work. It's very hard. I was very proud of myself. I walked by the USA Today, I almost picked it up, and I go, no, this is not going to have you positive outlook. Put it down. So that one thing is noticing, right? That's what mindfulness is. Noticing if you constantly go to your news feed or constantly go for whatever, you know, talking to a person that gives you a hard time. It's like, how many of you would play a bad movie, or would go see a bad movie? You'd pay to go see a bad movie? No. But how many of you do that every day, over and over and over in our heads? We play conversations that are not positive. We go over, we're worried about this, we're worried about that. It's very hard to have a positive outlook. So this is the quote, and then I want one from the field, and then we'll do a little activity. So this is the first year I haven't been totally stressed out about finals. I felt so calm. When my friends asked me, I told them it was because I was doing Inner Explorer every day. It's changed everything. It's a high school student in Massachusetts. Anybody have one about a positive outlook that from any of your either SEL or mindfulness stuff that you've seen either?
I just, my own personal, and we teach together, and she knows when I'm a basket case and stuff like that, and just kind of like circus and monkeys. Neither one of them are mine. They're not my circus, not my monkey. I have to move past it instead of getting involved with it. And
circus and monkeys, I like that. Oh, I like that. Pick up the newspaper. Circus and monkeys, thank you very much.
And actually, I'm going to have a kid make me a shirt in the tech ed department.
Oh, that's a great idea. You put it online. A lot of us will buy them.
There we go.
So my dad, when I was a kid, it was 1980, and somebody asked me to be an RN, a resident assistant in a hall in the summer. And I said, only if you let me do this tour thing that I want to do. I want to take horseback riding, sailing, rafting, all the stuff I love to do. Take these foreigners on these tours. It was awesome. Every day we went to these fun places. They loved it. They all went away after the summer. And I'm a social worker. I'm not a business person. So I'm going to do this tour company, right? Yeah, right. So I am looking for customers, and I see these tour buses, and they're filled with people. And I don't know how the heck to do this. And I am feeling so badly about myself. Have any of you ever had that thing in your gut where that stress, that noise? Frankly, I have to tell you, since I've been practicing mindfulness for 13 years, I don't have it anymore. It's gone, which is really lovely. The only thing that's really bad is politics, but it's still not as bad as some of that other stuff. So I said to my dad, who's a doctor, I said, Dad, I'm going absolutely crazy. I am driving myself nuts. He said, oh, when that happens, he taught me mindfulness in 1980. He didn't call it that. He said, when that happens, and I want you all to repeat after me. You say to yourself, oh, there's that feeling.
Oh, there's that feeling.
Thanks for noticing, Lori. Thanks, man. Tap yourself and say your name. Yeah. So, oh, there's that worry.
Oh, there's that worry.
Thanks for noticing, Lori. Oh, there's that fear.
Oh, there's that fear.
Thanks for noticing, Lori. Oh, God, there's that droning in the staff meeting.
Thanks for noticing.
You know that I'm one of you, and you know I know that, right?
Yep.
Thanks for noticing. That I have taught literally thousands of adults over the years, thousands. everybody tells me this is the most effective thing I teach. So I had a friend who decided to break up with her husband. Her kid was suspended from school that week, and she lost her job all in the same week. And we walk every day, every week. So we went for a walk the next week, and I said, how are you? She goes, I'm fine, thanks for noticing. It was like stunning. And she's gone through this year, and now she's doing really well. And she said, if it weren't for mindfulness, I would, but what's mindfulness? Awareness of the present moment. Oh, there's the feeling. Thanks for noticing, not judging it. My dad said, never get mad at yourself for noticing it. I mean, it's a complete definition of mindfulness, 1980. So I handed out an activity, and I have pens. And so when you said you wouldn't pay for a movie, it's probably true. You probably wouldn't go pay and watch a movie you hated. But every day, when you can't go to sleep, it's probably a movie. I've got so much to do, I've got so much to do, or you're worried about your kid, or you're worried about climate change, right? So I have to treat yourself, stop reliving the miserable stuff. Compliments my dad, who's not here anymore, than Grossman. So you tap yourself on the shoulder. So choose 3 emotions from the list above, or something else. So I have, worry, anger, fear, shame, disappointment, jealousy, or depression. And recount the nagging worry, anger, fear, shame, disappointment that you relive over and over and over again, that keeps you from sleeping, that keeps you from enjoying your life. So doing this exercise, my hope, I'm going to give you like 2 minutes or something. Just write, what are 3 of the things that are the recurring nightmares for you that get in your way of being in the present moment? And my hope is that by writing them down, that when they happen, you'll go, oh, there's that. And you know what? I can tell you, you do that 10, 15 times, it goes away. It's remarkable. So please, take a few minutes and do that for yourself. Yeah, just so so for example, I have a kid that has severe allergies and it scares me to death. That would be when I would write, It doesn't help me. Worrying doesn't help you. It's like not gonna fix the problem. So what is it, will Trump be elected? Whatever. Or if you don't like Trump, maybe by being burned.
But we're not getting political.
You don't have to write a lot of detail, but just write something and then you can go back to this anytime. It's a great thing to do with your kids, with your students, with your family, with your friends.
Boy, so I remember, so I can let it go. Otherwise, oh my God, what else do I have to do?
So I got a great question. She goes, but it doesn't go away. The problem doesn't go away. Our reaction to it. That's what mindfulness is about. I'm not going to take your stress. You can go to this workshop. You can stay here for a year. Stress is not going away.
Right.
It's your response to it or your reaction that's changing to it. So those bad movies, they're neural grooves in your head. They're the same, you're running the same neural patterns, the same synapses, the same, and you're digging it deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's cortisol and adrenaline, and that creates heart problems and stress problems and digestive problems and headaches. And when you stop that, you stop the cortisol and adrenaline. So when you're noticing it, I also have some docs I can give you. I wish I could keep you all day. I've got so much to do and we have no time. But do you get what I mean? That we're stopping the adrenaline and the adrenaline and cortisol. It's like a and you stop that, and your body feels better. Why could a kid say we're not going to fight anymore after listening to a bell? because he got out of his head. We have to get out of our head. The good stuff is right in front of us, and we miss most of it. We miss most of it. I had a teacher once, early on in mindful schools, one of the first times we did teacher workshops. And between week one and week two, a teacher says, we said, Megan Cowan said to the teacher, so did anybody notice anything? She said, I've worked at my campus 10 years. I've worked from my classroom to the office 10 times a day. Do you know we have birds on our campus? She never knew there were trees. She never knew where the birds. Why? She's like dealing with the papers and she's talking to the students. We miss what's in front of us. When you start practicing mindfulness every day, you can see the colors of birds. You can hear birds with the windows closed. It's shocking. My life changed radically. My dad, who this exercise is, he had broken his hip. And I'm the most family-oriented person I know. And I went and got my mom from the hospital that night. The doctor calls, said, get in here. Dad's a very sick man at 1 a.m. I said, are you telling me he's going to die? He said, get in here. 7, yes, right? So I had to call my mom. I had to wake up my sisters. We went in there. He made it that time. He since died, but he made it. And my sister calls me and says, she goes, your mindfulness is working. I said, what do you mean? She goes, do you know how calm you were when you called me? So I just called her and gave her the facts. I just got a call from the doctor. Apparently Dad had a massive heart attack. He doesn't look like he's going to make it. I'm taking Mom to the hospital. I can call you in 20 minutes when we get there. I just gave her information. In the past, I would have gone, who does that help? You know, it doesn't. But what happened, and this is from sitting every day when I never had a calm mind, not once, not once. Putting your butt down and sitting there and being quiet is the best thing you can do for your body and your brain. And I have seen kids in inner cities that for decades I wondered, I don't get it. These kids are really smart. Why aren't they doing it better? And it's trauma and it's a step. And when they start practicing every day, life changes. This principle I told you, used the program for 3 months, hadn't had a fight in 3 months. They were having 10 fights a month, big ones. We said at least 10. Not a fight. Kids don't want to act out. They don't want it. It's their nervous systems that are just a wreck. And if we can calm down the nervous system, and the best way to do it is daily mindfulness. I don't care how you do daily mindfulness. I love Inner Explorer because you push a button, and teachers don't know how to do it. Don't need to do it. Inner Explorer creates a 9 to 28% jump in grades, a 60% reduction in discipline. I have seen it over and over, and we have randomized control studies, and a 43% reduction in teacher stress. Why? You do it every day. If you don't do it, you don't go to the gym, you're not going to be fit. If you don't practice, it's not going to help. But it's the daily practice. And if we can train preschoolers to have a daily practice, it's kids go to school. You know, it's like adults don't do it. But if it's in there, the first thing they do in the morning, mindfulness, you know, after lunch, mindfulness. Then they get into a habit and it becomes part of them. Then they don't freak out when they get the call from the doctor. They're going to make wise choices, and they're going to respond. It didn't change. My dad didn't change in that conversation. My reaction to what happened, and it was more skillful. So, you guys have to go. I want you to go. Do you want to? You know what? I will. If you want, right? I have all this great stuff to do, you guys. So I tell you what. I'm going to play a thing. If you want to stay for 2 minutes and talk to each other about why you came here and what your intentions are, and what are you going to do? What's one thing you're going to do?
Actually, you need to get them to go into the next session, though.
Okay, you don't have to do that. But you know what? If you want to write down your name and email, I'll take it and I'll send you stuff. Tracy's speaking.